right, it's the weekend and time for an adventure. I'm here in Mansfield, Ohio, checking out the Ohio State Reformatory, a once-used prison that's now supposedly haunted, and is also one of the places where they filmed some scenes from one of my favorite movies, The Shawshank Redemption. So let's go inside and check this crazy place out. Once a Civil War training camp, the land was eventually bought and the prison was built in 1886 and then finally closed in 1990. It was designed by Levi T. Schofield and boasts the world's tallest freestanding cell blocks with 6 tiers, 12 ranges, and 600 cells. The building was modeled after some Victorian Gothic and even Old World German castle architectures. Some of the films that had scenes shot there were Tango and Cash, Harry and Walter Go to New York, Air Force One, and of course, Shawshank Redemption. Just hanging out now, waiting for my 12:30 guided tour. I'll be able to walk around after that, so this will be exciting. It is behind me. People started to gather around one of the entrances like giddy children on their first day of school, waiting to poke their heads inside to get a glimpse of this decaying prison and to get this tour started. We headed upstairs to check out the administration area and offices and check out the warden's office. Our tour guide gave us the lowdown on the movie and even threw in some movie trivia. The one interesting thing was the safe was actually a movie prop and not part of the original prison. It was eventually purchased and put on display for tours. Another iconic room was the parole board room, where Morgan Freeman, aka Red in the movie, gave his most memorable and impassioned speech about rehabilitation. I think the tour guide said this room was actually used as a chaplain's office or some sort of chaplain's room.
Rehabilitated? Well, now let me see. You know, I don't have any idea what that means.
I thought one of the interesting nuggets of information was that the room Brooke stayed in the halfway house was actually shot at the prison. But one of the more disappointing things was the original rafter that had the names carved in it was actually destroyed by trespassers and vandals and had to be rebuilt for this display. Quickly run through some of the other scenes that were shot there. The movie room was in the chapel area of the prison. The shower scene was filmed there as well, although there was no hot water, so they had to use dry ice to produce all the steam. They also shot some scenes in the stairwells of the prison. which conveniently led to the administration and warden's office. They shot the cafeteria scene in, I guess, the guards' lookout room, and then the indoctrination area where they brought in all the new prisoners and lined them up. I got to stand there and check that out as well. They also had the tunnel and the drain that were movie props that Andy Dufresne dug out and crawled through for his freedom. Well, if you couldn't have guessed, the first half of this video was pretty much the Shawshank Redemption tour, and that took up about 80% of the tour guide's time to explain and show the different areas. She also did about 20% where she just did general prison knowledge and general prison history of the place. So that's what's coming up in part 2 here. It's just going to be the remainder of the tour and just me wandering around, checking out the cells and checking out the place. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. Our tour guide took us into this supposedly haunted room, where, as rumor had it, if someone moved the chair from under the single light, it would, when no one was looking, find its way back under that light. Unfortunately, that did not happen while we were there. This was also the only room with no windows. There was also a weird spot where the light filtered in and created an X on the floor. Our guide said it was where the center of the building was. Supposedly, to some paranormal people, it was a portal to another dimension. Walking through the creepy and decaying prison, I went to visit James Lockhart's cell, who, as the tour guide mentioned, took his own life by setting himself on fire in this very cell. I wondered if the hairs would stand up on the back of my neck, or I would hear strange sounds, maybe even feel the heat from the fire, or witness some unexplained phenomenon. But alas, I did not. Maybe I should try visiting at night, or even come back with some more seasoned paranormal experts.